I wanted to watch the new Coffeezilla video that came out about CS:GO gambling, or rather CS2 gambling. I thought it would be a kind of a fun one. Wait, before we watch the CS2 one, guys, wait. First of all, Squeaks clip. You guys know we have to watch Squeaks clips. This is from last year.
Are you serious? What the fuck? Wait, what the fuck? No way. Wait, are you serious? Don't gamble. I don't open cases. Wait, don't actually do it.
That was streamer luck. That was paid. That was paid. No. That was a paid ad. No.
Well, I don't open cases.
No.
Wait, don't actually do it.
No, dude. No. Is that a good thing? Okay. Generally, when you open cases, what happens is you just get nothing over and over and over again. So like, let's say the average case is like $1. Opening a case is like $2.50 because the keys cost money. So it's like, let's say on average you spend $3 or $4 to open a case. Usually what ends up happening is you get a skin for a gun that's worth 20 cents. The rarest item you can get out of a box is usually a knife. They are the rarest item. That is the highest, rarest item. I think gloves are up there with them. And they're hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars. And it's like, I don't know what the percent chance is, but it's very, 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 very low. And you can sell these on the Steam community market for money. You sell them for like money in your Steam wallet. It's not for a dumb cosmetic chat. It's like you get it, you have money afterward. It's like actually gambling. It's like 1 in 360 or something. I have a friend that when we play CS, we have one friend who is like a repeat offender on gambling. And every single time he buys fucking 6 cases and he gets fucking nothing every time we play. Every single time. And he's like, it's okay, guys. This time I'm going to get something good. Guys, it's okay. I'm going to get something good. Guys, it's okay. I'm going to get something good. Is it like this? I don't know if I've seen this Caleb's city skit. 1 second. Basically, any loot-based system.
Congratulations. Yours. Shut up! They can hear us! They can hear us! I don't think you understand. Your mission is complete. Wait, I'm done? This is the end? You did it. Oh my gosh, finally! All right, you ready for your prize? It's been 9 hours. I'm about to go up. You ready for your reward? Oh, yes, please. I can't wait to see what I get from this. Let's see if I can find it here. Oh, yeah. Here you go. What is that? What is that? It's a stick, but a really rare. No, I know what it is. I'm actually, like, why are you handing me this? Oh, yeah, this is your reward. This is what you get. Right here. This is what I get? This is what I get for 9 hours of fighting villains? I lost my arm for this, man! I'm left-handed. I can't even write anymore, man. I just picked them by random. What are you talking about? Hey, hold on. Let me see that stick. Man, I already have one of these, man. Hey, maybe sell it or something. I don't know. Sell it for what? Like 2 gold? Look, I'm not responsible for duplicates. I just give you the loot. You know what? I don't even deserve this. I'm out. I'm leaving. Yo, what you on, bruh? Wait, who are you? Oh, I'm his friend. You just joined right now? Yeah. So you didn't fight any enemies, like whatsoever? No. Oh. Well, he didn't take his reward, so here's your reward. What is it? What is it? A new car! Oh! Whoa! You out of your mind! You out! You can destroy enemies. You can improve enemies.
This is the experience. Yeah, that's the experience. I wish there was a good like video I had on it, but like, yeah, it's straight up gambling, chat. It's great. It's gambling. It's 100% gambling. He gained a profit of minus $3,340.
I bought recently. It's not. I'm sorry, I clearly scared a lot of people. We are going to be opening some cases today on stream. I have started with 2 of every case, and if at the end of that opening I have not pulled anything big, we are going to go on a case that I specifically want until I pull a knife. I have a counter of what I've already put in. I think we can make it back, and I'm going to be counting the big pulls and adding it to the total. And with that being said, chat, let me show you my inventory. If you'll look carefully, there is the profit, and our current profit sits at negative $2,690. But we're gonna claw out of it. If we turn a profit tonight, it is a W. Let me first show you my inventory and why I'm not really interested if I get like a, I don't know, a safari mesh gut knife. I don't care. That goes to chat. Congratulations. Okay, so here's my big sniff. It's field tested. It's a Howl. The reason why this gun is expensive, I believe, is there was an issue where they had to remove it from the game and stop selling or creating it. This gun was actually copyrighted art, but the ones that were already out there got to remain. And as you guys could guess what that did to the price? Why would anybody care about pixels on your gun in a game? Well, think of it like this. I always use this example, right? If you're a car guy, or if you're a World of Warcraft guy, imagine there's something in the game that all of your friends play. All of your friends go to car meetups, or all of your friends play WoW. Now imagine you walk into the guild, or you drive up to the car show, and you drive in on a 1-of-1, so rare, it doesn't even matter how you could afford it. Where did you find it?
Men be like, women are women are so stupid spending thousands of dollars on designer purses and then spend thousands of dollars on crates in a video game for pixels.
You're gonna get that adrenaline. You feel cool. All of your friends are like, that's so crazy. Apply that to Counter-Strike. Same with WoW, right?
Man.
You finally get the time lost Proto-Drake after camping it for weeks. Who cares? It's just pixels. You know who cares? Your friends, the people you associate with, your guild. Apply it to hold on. Half investment. No, it's not.
All right, let's get to when he starts opening cases.
But at the end of the day, chat, all I'm going for in the majority of these cases is the gold special item, which is either gloves or knives, depending on the
for internet connection for play Counter-Strike. And I want to become the goodest player like you. I play with 400 ping on Brazil, and I'm global elite 2.
Tip. You'll see that our profit is not great. But here's you know what the worst part about this is? This could be the best we're gonna be all night. Because I'm telling you guys, I'm gonna keep going till we get something. Dreams and Nightmares case. What is his name? One Pixel? You know what he's... First purple, don't care, not interested. What do the colors mean? I'm glad you asked. I'll explain on the next case. Color, ooh, stat trick. Colors have to do with rarity. So blues are the most common, and they are typically worthless dog shit. Purple.
Blues are like anywhere from $1 to $5, or sometimes like honestly 10 cents to $5. Purples are like $5 to $20. Pinks are like 20 to like $80, and then reds are like sometimes in the hundreds of dollars. And then the special gold item is like a knife that usually goes for hundreds of dollars.
Purples are the next tier. Some cases have decent purples. Next is pink right here. And then lastly, take 10 red is a good looking deagle, though. I'll be real. I do. Almost had a pink. I do like this deagle.
I like this deagle too, dude. It's sexy. It's so sexy.
I do like
but it's also like hundreds of dollars.
This is a good looking deagle, though. I'll be real. If we pull nothing out of these cases, I'm just going to go straight to breakout till we get something good. Because you know what? I want a butterfly knife. I traded my butterfly knife recently.
Okay,
Picking this burger.
keep going.
Your balls will explode, guaranteed. You can come inside, outside, and all around the new Burger King burger. Have it your way at Burger King.
God, I see.
Do you know Anomaly from Sweden? You two should team up for some case-off videos. Whale off, case-off, IRL pickle tickle time.
Hey, Dennis, it's your conscience speaking. I know we said we would give out the good pulls to chat, but we both know...
Dude, I thought my text-to-speech was crazy, dude.
This is hideous. Elriz bozos. So just do us both a favor and take all the money and run. Oh, and one more thing. Wu Shang-chan. Wu Shang-chan Yong Zhong Wen Swan-ming.
I would hate to have that shit playing if we pull something big and it's just ridiculous, but at the very least, it keeps you guys entertained. I'll chat.
Okay,
Get
okay. Let's keep
gloves back in
going.
the day, bro. And let's see. Make me happy tonight. Dude,
Oh
we
my
have
God,
pulled
he's opened so many cases and it's only worth $40.
nothing but dog shit. And the skin in years, and now I'm looking at it again. I don't think I like it as much as I used. Purple ass bitch. Web on the scar, bro. What were they thinking? Come on, baby. Come on. Just give me a goal.
I'm just stroking my shit. I'm horny as fuck, man. I'm a freak, man. Like, for real.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the first ever Counter-Strike case to be released. Without further ado, come on! That's fine. That's fine. I'm not your dick. I'm opening the cobblestone. Oh, damn. That's a good float. 007. I mean, it's not $1,000 sick, but you can only spend $2,000 a day in the shop. But you can only spend $2,000 a day in the shop.
You spent 2.6K, 2.7K. He made $260. So when Squeaks rolls this knife, he used up all of his good luck for the rest of the year. That's a good day for Whoopi. All right, let's watch the video, guys. I think a coke addiction would be cheaper and more fun.
I'm going to be delivering justice to these motherfuckers.
I get told that they had posted flyers everywhere in my city. And I mean everywhere. High schools, malls.
They need to go in, even if there's a security guard, even if they're gonna be taken away. If somebody goes home walking, they will be fired.
They sent 18 people outside my door having a quote-unquote protest.
We are having war with other sites as well. Most of the CSGO gambling sites are scams.
I want to know who's really behind this thing, who's really the victims, and who's really the villain.
In our last video, we got bribed, but instead of taking it, we exposed the people who offered it. Now it's time to expose the rest of the Counter-Strike gambling industry and the influencers who promote it for millions a year. Let's start with the basics of what Counter-Strike gambling really is, though. Counter-Strike is a first-person shooter video game where you can buy cosmetic options for your guns called skins. You can get these by paying $2.50 to open a loot box. It spins like a slot machine, and you get a random skin. There's an entire economy that's grown out of their rarity, and you can sell these skins for pennies or up to tens of thousands of dollars depending on their rarity. You can then take those skins to Counter-Strike casinos where they will be accepted as currency instead of cash. They use their real-world value to turn this video game into Vegas. You can play slots, roulette, and more, all with a video game skin. Think of it like their version of poker chips. And when I first began to investigate this, I thought, why don't people just use a regular casino? You know, why use Counter-Strike skins for this? Well, I decided to investigate by interviewing a bunch of people who do use Counter-Strike casinos, and I found a disturbing trend.
I've been in the gambling community in Counter-Strike for about, I'd say since...
No, don't say you've been in the gambling community. Don't say that like it's a fandom. Don't say that.
12 years old.
I started gambling on Counter-Strike when I was probably 13 years old.
13 years old.
14 years old.
I think I was 14. Started gambling on CSGO at the age of 12 and 13, pretty much right around there, my 13th birthday.
Yeah, most of the people I spoke to started gambling underage, and it was while they were playing the game. And this trend continues beyond the anecdotal. This YouTuber named Jeff surveyed over 9,000 players, and he found that...
I mean, like, you have to understand that the CS crates are like the same as like scratch off tickets, right? Like, it's, if you're responsible about it and you get scratch offs like once in a while or whatever, like, yeah, it's fine. I think I bought, it was like my 18th birthday or my 21st birthday, I went and I bought like $20 of, maybe it was like $40 of like Mega Million lottos or whatever. Obviously lost because everybody loses. And I don't think I've bought lottery tickets since then. Went to Vegas for TwitchCon. I spent $5 on one of the slot machines. I won nothing and then I left. Like, I think you have to remember, right? You have to remember this is made to make me lose. You do it for the small time enjoyment and pleasure, and then you stop at whatever number you said you would stop at. You have to do that. Labingus, also thank you for the gifts. I'm sorry I didn't see that. I stopped following streamers that do poker streams, etc. Too many kids watching Twitch that get sucked into the idea that gambling is good. Like, at least with poker, there is some skill involved, right? With poker, there is like remembering hands, like running the numbers, running the calculations. Well, I guess not remembering hands, sorry. Running the numbers on like what your chance is to have a better hand than somebody else's chance. And then also the act of bluffing.
CS Gamba stream win?
Like you can have a bad hand and win the table, right? So you're actually, there is skill involved. A lot of it is chance, 100%. A lot of it is chance, but a lot of it is also skill, right? People who are good at poker win more than people who are bad at poker. Slots, everyone wins and loses equally. You have the same chance. When you go to like slots, sorry, I'm not talking about like against the house, to be clear. I'm talking when you're playing poker against other players. You're supposed to lose against the house in any casino. That's how they make money. But more importantly, I'm just talking about like, when I was talking about poker, I'm talking about poker between like friends, like everyone's playing poker together or whatever, right? Moving on. Nah, I'm built different. With slots, there's no, you're supposed to lose. Statistically, you are supposed to lose. Same thing with opening crates. I think I've opened, in the hundreds of hours I've played in CS, I've opened 7 crates. Because I know I'm supposed to lose, so I'm not just going to keep fucking swiping. That's stupid. You're supposed to lose. You're not supposed to make money. You were supposed to lose money.
Around 70% of Counter-Strike gamblers start underage. Now, themed casinos have always had an audience, but with Counter-Strike, there is an underage gateway to all of this because all you need is $2.50 to get your first skin through Valve, and you don't even need to show ID, which is a huge part of this. Even worse, when you go from the game to the casinos, which are hosted on third-party websites, most don't ID the players either. Or if they do, it's only after you've already gambled thousands of dollars.
You think Counter-Strike knows about this? Of course they know about it. Are you kidding me? They like that this exists. They make money.
Do not gamble. Do not start gambling. Gambling is entertainment and entertainment only. You won't break even. You won't win. You won't do any of that. You understand? You will only go into debt and ruin your fucking life.
Why do people keep bringing up E for no reason? What do you mean E? There's some great mini docs on pachinko slots in Japan. It's insane how messed up it is over there. People spend thousands of dollars to reserve a spot in line for when the machines open up. Whoa. Thank you for saying this. It drives me crazy. It's literally designed to provide a return. Yeah, like that's the like I do it for the fun. Like I'm not, and that's like I think the key factor. When you spend money and you know you're gambling, you should be spending that money expecting to lose, which I know is pretty loser brained, but I think this is the one instance where you should be loser brained, okay? Because, Ethan, okay, got it, sorry. You should only play money that you're okay with losing, which is why every time I've ever gambled, I've spent less than $20. The one exception being a birthday many, many years ago where I was like, yeah, you know what, sure. I'm down to spend $40 on this. Fucking sure, why not? But you put that money in expecting to lose it. And the problem is when you're super gamble brained, you get such a high even if you lose that people just keep going.
Which is a bit like if a liquor store asked for ID after you drank 10 bottles of liquor. It's obviously absurd, but it's also very profitable because underage gamblers not only are new customers, they're way more likely to become gambling addicts, which is how casinos make most of their money. These days, most physical casinos have a strict ID policy at the door. This isn't because they're good people, it's because they're heavily regulated and would lose their gambling license if they knowingly allowed underage players. But Counter-Strike gambling is fundamentally different. Regulation for these casinos is almost non-existent because they're offshore in Malta, Curacao, Cyprus, and most of them are using loopholes to pretend that this isn't even gambling at all. Look, I'm not going to go into too much detail here because different casinos use different loopholes, but suffice to say, this has been going on a long time. Back in 2016, a very similar story broke in a big way about scam casinos and underage gambling problems in Counter-Strike, and everyone was understandably enraged. Valve even got involved, had to send out...
But Denims, 99% of people stop gambling right before they win, though. That is also true. Both of those things are true. Mine, diamond, gamble, win. Meme. This is actually accurate. This is what happens. It's right before you're about to win, you leave. Yeah.
Cease and desist letters. Even the FTC went after influencers, but when the dust settled, there weren't that many consequences. Part of the reason was because of these loopholes. In fact, the most infamous casino, CSGO Lotto, claimed not even to be a casino at all. They said they were a sweepstakes. Now, this is obviously absurd. It's not true, but none of that matters because it got them out of trouble. And so the same types of casinos have continued, just with new owners and new names. What you're left with then is an industry that is unregulated, if anything, self-regulated, which I discovered creates its own race to the bottom problem, because consumer protection in an unregulated market will literally drive away your customers. For example, remember Monarch from the last video and his casino CSGO Empire? One of the things they do that I actually think is good is they block certain IPs where gambling is illegal, and they admit that what they're doing is gambling. Now, you can easily get around these geo restrictions with a VPN, but it's sort of an extra hurdle. Most Counter-Strike casinos don't even do this. And listen to one gambler explain why this tiny decision to just geo-block one region, the US, affected who he chose to gamble with.
So when I went onto Empire, while it's still easy to bypass it, you could just put a VPN, just takes an extra 5 minutes. CSGO Roll, I can just, once again, type it into my browser. Deposits.
Oh, you're an American.
Yes, correct, yes.
So no VPN restriction, no geo-blocking.
Yes, correct. So on Roll, 0 VPN blocking, 0 any bypassing. On Empire, there is blocking, but it truthfully is very easy to bypass.
Right. That makes sense. Most people end up going with the casino who asks them less questions, requires less from you. Even if you're not illegally trying to gamble, you just don't want to have to put in personal information, anything like that. This all taught me that in the world of unregulated gambling, it's more complicated than just saying, okay, casinos want toddlers gambling. It's also market dynamics, right? You get a competitive edge by not regulating. Less work, more customers, more money, which means you can't just solve the problem by wagging your finger at bad casinos. The entire system is broken. As long as these loopholes exist, why would anyone change? In fact, some websites like Clash.gg even advertise their lack of regulation as a feature, not a bug. The CEO even bragged on Twitter, quote, "Clash just paid out its biggest one-time cash out instantly with no verification. Couldn't be more happy with the product and reputation we are building." This guy sees it as a badge of honor to do no checks. And it is a positive reputation if you want to appeal to underage players, money launderers, or just people who want to avoid a hassle, a VPN and putting in an ID. And this is all a huge problem. But how big of a problem is it? you might wonder. After all, we're talking about video game skins. How much money could this industry really be worth? I wondered the same thing, so I asked around for how much these casinos are making and got several estimates. One owner claims he has an 8-figure business, and someone who worked for his partner claims that is true. How much does he make on Clash?
His partner, Boris, right, also known as Dogs Playing Poker, Friendly Chemist, he told me directly that it was making about $50 million a month.
That's a lot of money, and this roughly matches what the popular gambling Counter-Strike YouTuber told me as well, saying he'd estimate these sites are making tens of millions monthly. And there are so many of these sites that the YouTuber Jeff estimated it all in a different way, looking at the total amount of website traffic compared to a popular online casino.
So when you bring them together, those CSGO websites bring almost double the traffic of the biggest online casino today. And this online casino declared a gross revenue of 2.6 billion in 2022. Now, that doesn't mean the CSGO websites are grossing more, but it's a great element to put things in perspective.
So even though it's tough getting an exact number, since these casinos might overestimate or underestimate for many reasons, either way, it's clear these businesses are making huge amounts of money. And there's many of these casinos. We've just focused on a few in our videos, but there's so many more of these websites, each potentially making millions a month. And no one's going to change their behavior until they're incentivized to by regulation across the board. Until then, less regulation will always mean a wider customer base, even if some of those customers are underage. The irony here being the biggest voice of change so far really has been Monarch. From the last video, you guys know I am no fan of this guy's methods, but I'll be honest, there's large parts of his public arguments that are hard to argue with. He claims to understand the underage problem because that's how he started as well.
How I got into gambling myself was when I was 13 and I was playing RuneScape, and how the duel arena was like a gateway drug for me. That's how gambling started for me, and that's where it went into third-party sites. I'm just disgusted about this whole loop. I think that the whole case system on Steam is pretty horrible. The way how there is no KYC. It's such a powerful tool for getting children and even adults. I think even adults, they have a gambling problem. It's not only it's not a age exclusive thing. It's just a machine that makes people gamble. Imagine there's a kid who just plays CSGO and they open one box. Pretty innocent. They get their mom's credit card. They spend €2 to open a box. Okay, then they open a second box, third box, fourth box, and so on. And soon they see their favorite influencer playing on some third-party case opening site. And this is where it's like switching from weed straight to, I don't know, amphetamine or something. And they just go deeper and deeper into this rabbit hole, and soon they are addicted. And the next thing you know, when they want to stop gambling, it's easy to just close these websites. But what happens when you go on social media? You go on YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, TikTok, any platform. What do you get? You get gambling ads everywhere. The algorithm starts feeding you. It's like, imagine you are addicted to heroin, and then everywhere you go, you just see like heroin. Here, look, your hero is taking heroin.
So we have to separate these two things out. Yes, this guy's methods are terrible, but I'll admit, it's nice to see a casino owner talking honestly about their industry and admitting that what it is gambling and not some kind of sweepstakes. But even if Monarch says he wants to change, without the actual power of a regulator, he just ends up having to harass people, threaten people, which isn't going to get him anywhere. Not only that, he's no saint either. His own website doesn't ID people right away. According to CSGO's Empire's terms, they only require you to verify your age if you want to withdraw more than 2,000 coins in crypto or deposit substantial amounts of money. If you withdraw via skins, there is no limit. So even the guy who claims he started underage gambling, he understands the gateway drug that skin betting websites act as, even he refuses to fully ID customers because he knows he'd go out of business.
I'm really committed to, I want to make it stricter and stricter. Like, you can't jump to the deep end just like immediately on one day. That would make us go out of business. But really my My end goal is I want to do full-blown KYC before anybody deposits. I want to make it as clean as possible.
This, more than anything, shows the limit to the let's self-regulate idea, right? Even the biggest critic of underage gambling can't bring himself to actually ID his customers up front.
No, that's how you know the business is moral. That's how you know the business is good and moral. Because it's you don't need to ID. You don't need to do that.
Because his competitors won't do it, and he says it would ruin his
IDs.
business.
You don't need to do that.
Maybe the solution isn't with the casinos at all. Maybe it's a good time to talk about the influencers who promote it instead. Because when I learned and asked about people who got into this type of gambling, I wondered, how did they get into it in the first place? Who did they hear about it from? And one thing kept popping up.
One of the primary ways I actually learned was through YouTube. It popped up in my recommended page because I was a big fan of Counter-Strike. I'd play it, in my free time. Some gambling videos popped up and I thought, hey,
Streamers kind of exposed me to that.
The root of all evil, streamers.
To that space first.
I saw it online. I saw a bunch of these YouTubers playing it.
Found out CSGO gambling just pretty much through watching people on Twitch and YouTube. Juicy was one of them. I actually remember very vividly. He was this guy that would do all these case openings on different websites and such. He was very much affiliated with them. He had codes and all these things.
I've been surrounded by Syndicate and like FaZe Clan, for example.
I watched my favorite
Mom, look what Denims taught me. Gamba! Gamba, 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 gamba.
YouTubers.
Right. YouTubers and streamers, of course, are going to be one of the main advertising vectors. It's been that way since 2016. Influencers are the main lifeblood of these casinos. Fast forward 8 years later, it's just different influencers, different casinos making the money than before. But unlike casinos, who we know intuitively are blood-sucking leeches on society, influencers, by contrast, well, we expect more from them. We don't get it, but we expect more. So I wanted to confront 3 different influencers who do this gambling streaming stuff of different sizes and get their opinions on why they promote this stuff and how they can possibly justify it.
I don't think people should gamble, honestly, on the sites. They shouldn't gamble at all.
Gambling streamer Grim. Let's hear it.
But I enjoy doing it, so it's what I do. If that makes any sense, I don't know.
No. That part of it makes sense. The part where you want to do it so you continue to do it, that makes sense. But let's say I'm like, I don't think smoking is good for you, but I like smoking. It makes sense that I would smoke. It doesn't make sense that I would go promote it to get people to smoke.
Yeah, no, I definitely understand that perspective too. And it's a very good argument, and it's like you can't really argue against it, right? It's not a good thing, but it's something that I still enjoy doing, and so I'm going to continue to do it.
Is it just too much money? That's an acceptable answer. It's just too much money to turn down.
I'd say in the beginning it probably was too much money. At this point, it's not about the money for me. It's just I really enjoy doing it.
Well, in the videos,
I
don't sugarcoat. I don't try to convince people that winning or gambling is a way or a solid option to flip a quick buck. Even in my wins, I preface that this is not a sustainable thing. So it's not something that I necessarily, I don't know. You can watch the videos and decide for yourself if it feels like promotion, but that's how I reason it to myself. I don't even, use the rewards. I don't advertise it at all. So I don't, the rewards thing, it's more of like I said, I don't advertise it. So I don't feel guilty.
But you do advertise. You get paid to advertise it, right?
Not the reward system. No, I don't mention the rewards.
No. I'm saying CS:GO roll.
Yes.
We're talking about the gambling side. We both know it's not going to be good for people. And then you're kind of saying, well, I don't really promote it. I don't really advertise it. But in a way, if you didn't promote or advertise it, they wouldn't pay you millions of dollars.
Yeah, I watched your Trainwrecks video and you said the same thing. You're like the less dirtier of the dirt bags. So I guess I would call myself that. And ultimately, if you watch the video, you can decide like how less dirty is he really. But yeah, that's my answer.
You know, most people are going to, unfortunately, gamble with or without certain streamers, right? Obviously, it's intended to be like a McDonald's ad. You see a McDonald's ad, you see a Big Mac, you're going to go, you know, I'm craving a Big Mac. So it's the same concept.
You're saying like, oh, I'm just like kind of promoting McDonald's, whatever.
No, it's not. It's not like promoting McDonald's. Let's be honest. Gambling is a terrible addiction. My closest friend has a very, very bad gambling addiction. He'll get paid on, let's say, a Tuesday, and by Tuesday night or Wednesday morning, his whole paycheck is gone for 2 weeks, and then he has no money. And no matter what I do to intervene to help that individual try to hold his money, to help him sit there and self-exclude, he finds ways, because it's an addiction. It's just as bad as any other drug because of that dopamine rush.
Yeah, the answers were part admissions, part rationalizations. They all knew gambling was bad, but they'd stop short of actually doing something about it because they were making money from it, even when they knew people whose own lives were hurt by it. So if you know the harm firsthand, you've seen it in your own life, how do you justify peddling that drug, as you call it?
It's going to happen, in my opinion, right? And like, there is no justification. Can I say like I'm a drug dealer? Sure, you could, you know, you're going to label, certain streamers are going to be labeled as a drug dealer, in essence. And that's okay, I guess, if people are going to view it that way. I mean, I want to know how you view it. How I feel? Because
you said it was kind of like a drug. So I want.
It is a drug. I mean, it hits the dopamine levels. Hell, I get hit dopamine levels if I hit big. It's yeah, you know, and then that becomes a YouTube trick. I feel bad. I do. Right? I hate to hear when people say I've lost money. I hate it, dude. I really, it crushes me because some people legit do it because they're bored and then they lose everything they have. And it is a terrible feeling to hear that, right?
Not to question their sincerity, but I've heard all of them say that they hate when people get addicted. They don't want to see anyone hurt, but they refuse to stop even though they know casinos are run on addicts. Fun fact, Clash.gg, who earlier we had their CEO admitting he was proud of not IDing players, also admitted that the majority of their revenue comes from a tiny fraction of their most addicted players. Quote, less than 1% of Clash accounts make up 80% of our revenue. It's just an admission from their founder. It's an open secret. So these influencers can empathize about how horrible addiction is, but they know that's where their paycheck comes from. The CEO of Clash has a profile on Twitter that says, never gamble, the house always wins. But ironically, his house is probably from people gambling. The fact of the matter is that these people say with their mouth, I feel terrible, I feel bad. But when it comes to actually changing, they never do. Even when they directly scam people, they will still find a way to rationalize it. And this next part is pretty dark. But for a moment, we're going to have to...
Do you guys remember when a lot of creators were trying to get gambling, like specifically... not unlicensed, but like shady gambling websites. I'm forgetting the exact word. It's like unregulated gambling websites when they were trying to get those banned on Twitter or on Twitch. And people had the audacity to say like, yeah, well, you know, there are women on Twitch that are scamming their audience. As if these are even remotely the same. As if they're even remotely the same. As if gambling and opening loot crates and advertising loot crates to children who can use the loot crates because you don't need to have an ID for the loot crate casino, that you're standing on that ground and you are even suggesting that OnlyFans models are doing something worse. It's like, hey, dude, I'm sorry. I don't know how to tell you that. I just don't know how to tell you this. But when you pay for stuff on OnlyFans, you're not gambling. You're getting the thing that you paid for. And if you pay for something on OnlyFans and you don't get it, you can report that person's channel. and they'll investigate it and they'll flag that account. And after a certain number of flags of like not delivering what was promised, they get their page taken down. Like, that's not gambling, you idiots. What? Oh, Mayor Cap. He's such a baby, dude. Looking at me, fell asleep. He's such a baby.
Go back for a second to the PGL major tournament and talk about the thing I was originally offered a bounty to investigate. A specific casino that is owned by the same group as CSGO Roll, but this one is called HypeDrop. It's owned by Monarch's arch nemesis. HypeDrop was a casino where instead of gambling Counter-Strike skins, you could gamble real-world items, like real-world loot boxes. For example, you could pay for a real loot box that would get you anything from like a $10 gift card to a Lamborghini, for example. It's just gambling with physical items. But the real secret sauce of this website was a loyalty program called the Daily Cases, where the more you spent, the higher level you got, the more you'd get these daily cases, which essentially were free money. Every single day, you could go on their website and open these daily cases, and theoretically, you'd get free stuff, free money. Which, if that sounds unsustainable, it is. It was all part of a scheme, it turns out, to make the Danish government believe that HypeDrop was not actually gambling. I received a letter HypeDrop gave to the Danish regulator, arguing players could not lose money on their site because over time, the daily cases paid back all the losses over roughly 3 years. This is one of those loopholes we talked about where they're going to argue they're not actually gambling because you can't lose. Now, of course, I asked HypeDrop about this, and initially they denied ever sending this letter. Eventually, I showed them that I had their document, and they finally confessed, saying they did do it on one occasion, but denied trying to pass it off as an investment. They then quickly scurry away, saying, "This is our last comment." I bet it is, because they got caught making bad faith arguments to the Danish government. This type of loophole is why in their promotional material, HypeDrop said things like, yes, you'll always make at least your money back, and, quote, we offer return on what you invest through our daily reward system, and, quote, it's a win-win situation every time. Now, it only takes a few moments to realize that offering jackpots and money back to losers isn't gonna work. It has to be a scam, which is why many people like Monarch called this thing an unsustainable Ponzi scheme. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but he's right. On March 27th, 2024, Killian, the owner, announced that he was shutting down the site, effectively rug pulling his customers, who were all relying on these daily cases to make their losses back. This is part of what Monarch's paid goons were yelling about at the PGL majors. By removing their daily cases, HypeDrop, in my opinion, stole from their users and effectively revealed their legal loophole to be a lie. Now, with that all understood, let's circle back to this guy, Juicy, a gambling streamer who we heard from earlier. He was easily one of the biggest promoters of HypeDrop, and I wanted to know, given that he has widely promoted a scam, what was he gonna do to make things?
How do these people not feel bad? Am I wrong to think? I don't understand how you can just like do this and not feel bad. But like, I think it's literally just money. But what about like your empathy, dude? Like, what? Especially like, here's the thing. Especially creators who already have so much money. Like, I don't understand the XQCs of the world. I really don't understand them. It's like you already have millions of dollars. You already will live comfortably for the rest of your life. Why are you gambling? Why are you trying to get people addicted to gambling? I can understand the people who are like, they attempted to escape poverty by getting into content creation and they found that promoting gambling websites was the way to do it. Like, you're still a shitty person for doing that, but like, all right. I don't understand the people who have giant audiences who already make millions of dollars and it's not enough.
is right. So let's talk about HypeDrop at this point. This has been kind of what precipitated the PGL majors, according to Monarch. He says, I had to protest HypeDrop. It was a Ponzi scheme that collapsed, and CSGO rolls next. Now, when I was looking up HypeDrop, you were one of the people who was promoting it, like one of the bigger YouTubers I saw, maybe the biggest. What's your take on promoting this stuff? Where's your ethical line for what you will take, what you won't take on?
Yeah. So to my understanding, I had never worked with a gambling site that had rewards that function like a Ponzi scheme, you know? So when I was playing on it, I'm not promoting the rewards, you know? I'm not like, this is the most rewarding IRL gambling site. So I was just playing with the product itself and, you know, making content around that. So obviously it's really annoying and bullshit when the rewards get, first off, cut down, and then second off, now there is no reward offering and the site's going away. Like, I'm obviously very upset, not just for my own intent, but also mainly for the people who, especially if people put money into HypeDrop, thinking of it like a good monetary investment versus like, I'm just gambling, you know? I'm pretty sure from my understanding, that wasn't like a advertised thing. At least they weren't advertising. They weren't saying, hey, you got to tell them about this great investment option. I think that was more of a legal loophole that they were, you know, trying to operate.
He's just lying about some of this. He says he didn't advertise his daily cases, but I think he didn't think I'd watch his videos because he definitely did.
Daily reminder.
This is my favorite type of dumb fuck on the internet. They just lie as if they don't literally have content online showing them saying that shit. Denims, you've never done a sweet, sweet rug pull in his shows. Check your privilege. You're right. I'm sorry. Sorry, right. I had a friend tell me everyone exploits everyone else. I was disappointed in their response. Yeah. Yeah. Like, again, like I can start to understand someone whose method of escaping poverty is scamming other people, right? Like, I get it. Economy is shit. Job market is shit. Like, it feels like in order to succeed in America and to have any, just like the ability to continue to live, you have to scam somebody else first. But like, I just don't get the rich people doing it. I don't get the people who are super, super rich. Like, I feel like if you're going to do that, you make enough that like you can retire and then you should stop. Like, what the fuck? Z, thank you so much for the gift sub. Thanks. Live streamers trying to lie about what's recorded is hilarious to me. It's so funny, dude. Denim understands scamming to get out of poverty, which is why we need to start our own CS2 gambling site. True.
Your daily cases, they're free monies. Code JUICY will get you 3 free cases, so might as well. I mean, my daily cases used to pay a filthy amount of money. It was a full-time income just claiming them. Claim this every day, dude, and we're making a full-time salary every month.
Yeah, he calls the daily cases basically a full-time salary. But I thought surely after seeing that HypeDrop scammed people, he would cancel his sponsorship with the same company. Like, it's the sister casino CSGO Roll, right? He has to stop that now that he's scammed his audience. He didn't cancel it, right? So let me ask you, does that mean you're no longer going to work with CSGO Roll since they're run by the same people?
Well, I've already promoted the site and I already have fans who use the site, and I don't think the reward offering there is going to change. But yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate.
But I think you can see. I think you can see the logic of no one thought HypeDrop was going to rug people from these cases, these daily rewards. And if you are regretful, wouldn't that turn into some kind of action on your part to like change who you're working with?
Yeah, I understand that completely, but I feel like Counter-Strike sites aren't there to stay forever in the first place. I don't think anyone's expecting them to stay forever, and there really isn't many great options. So yeah, maybe it's f***ed up of me that I continue to do so, absolutely, but it really is one of the better options on the market right now, and there's a ton of dog shit on the market, so yeah.
And there it is. Absolutely, he doesn't want to change. Absolutely, he's not going to stop what he's doing. At the end of the day, past all the rationalizations, that's what it comes down to. It doesn't matter what you show them, what you prove to them. They're making too much money. And that is the part that I was struggling to like really get from these people, is they would always say like, I do it for the love of gambling, man. I would do it if nobody paid me. Of course, they always do it getting paid. But this is the single biggest cope of gambling streamers. In fact, even Grim told me this, who we spoke to earlier about getting harassed. Luckily for me, though, his tax records are public. So I knew that he was actually making a few $1 million a year and had a few million reasons to lie about why he.
But like, why? This is what I mean. Why would you do this for more than a few years? I feel like the guilt should like eat at you that you're promoting this thing that's ruining people's lives.
He was doing what he did. So I decided to ask him if maybe the money did play a role. Somebody reached out to me. They said, hey, I found Grim's business. He made $5 million last year. Is that true? And does that undermine what you said about it's not about the money?
Yeah, no, that is true. Like, what's one of the, I guess, the downsides with Norway is everything's public. If they know my company name, even just my name, they Google around, they find it. So like everything that I make is public. And yeah, you could say that the argument is obviously hypocritical because like I made a lot of money, but like I don't do it because I make a lot of money. I'd still do it if I didn't make a lot of money. And like, even if I wasn't paid, I would still do it when I had excess money to do it because I like doing it. And it might like sound like a lie, but that's how I started it. And that's how I always wanted to continue.
It sounds like the $5 million might have something to do with it. It just, but that's fine. I mean,
yeah, no, I mean, like I said, I
not trying to humanize bad people, but do you think it might partially be addiction? I mean, yeah. I mean, some of it is genuine addiction. Like, I genuinely do think that XQC and Train are actually addicted to gambling.
100% understand what people would think like, oh, no, it's only because of the money. But like, I know myself that it isn't only because of the money, but it's obviously great. Don't get me wrong.
How much did you make this year?
I'd rather not say, but I could say it's a lot.
Come on, Juicy, tell us. Tell us. Look,
so I actually don't know the exact answer myself, but I can tell you it's going to be right around Grim's number, which I know he told you already.
Grim's $5 million.
Yeah, and then I got to pay a stupid tax rate on that.
No, you have to lose some of the money and you only get to pocket a few million. Oh, it's horrible. Oh my God. It's so sad. Can you guys be nicer? Be nicer. Stop being so mean.
But it's probably around there.
Both made about $5 million last year. So it's kind of obvious why they're not going to stop based on just a moral argument. And I began to wonder, like,
oh no, I have to pay taxes on my dirty money. No. Rich people complaining about taxes. I'm going to lose it. I'm going to fucking... Antu, thank you for the 5 gift subs. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
How many of these
Turning Boss, thank you for the 2 months. And Tracy Poof, thank you for the 2 months.
Take these deals because they are so profitable. Well, luckily, thanks to the hard work of Jeff, who we mentioned earlier, whose documentary you should definitely go watch, I found out it's almost everyone.
This is the top 300 CSGO streamers since the beginning of this year, ranked by watch time. Of 300, 226 are currently sponsored by at least one of them. Some have up to 5. We are looking at 75%.
75%. It's insane. Counter-Strike gambling is basically funding over half of the scene with these ridiculous paychecks. And I began to wonder, not about the people who said yes, but the people who said no. They're the minority. I wanted to know, for the people who said no, how much were they offered and why didn't they take it?
This is something I think about a lot, because there have even been moments in time where I've been offered $300,000 for a month of gambling, $5,000 an hour. That could change my life. That could retire my mom. That could alter my family's lineage. But I keep turning it down. That was when I was an even smaller streamer than now.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
One of the things I've been thinking a lot about is like how to change this, you know, even if, well, look, if
And like, this is what I mean, by the way, like, I just, I can't judge people. Like, if that guy took that sponsor and was like, I'm going to do this sponsorship for a year, and I'm only going to do it for a year so that my mom can finally fucking retire. I just can't. I can't judge someone like that. You live in a society that is incentivizing such dog shit behavior because we can't be fucked to take care of our own citizens. Like, I can understand. And I can't, maybe other people can, like sit on their high horse and say that if it was them, they would never do it. I can't judge someone like that. I can't judge someone who's like, yeah, I can't see my mom work for like another year. Like, I can't do it. And I feel bad knowing that I am going to contribute harm. But yeah. Like, from where I'm standing, I can't judge you. It's the people, again, it's the people who already have made so many millions of dollars and they're still fucking doing it. They're still running these fucking rug pulls and they're still doing these Gamba streams over and over and over again. Like, how fucking disgusting do you have to be?
what does even change look like, right? That's part of what I'm thinking about. It's like, what does even change look like for this industry? And one thing that I came to is like, the incentives have to change because they're so out of whack. The second you allow gambling sponsorships and streamers to like get sponsorship deals, how are you going to stop someone from taking that amount of money? You're a good person, so you just don't want to do it. That's your personal line. But I think it's hard for just even somebody who's a good person to say no. You know, it's only because you know what it would do to people. But that is such a crazy amount of money. You know, this interview almost ruined me on this story. I began to wonder if change was even possible when money like this is in the field for play. Like, the casinos aren't going to regulate themselves because they lose customers and there's so much money at stake. Most influencers aren't going to say no because there's so much money at stake and they could change their life and their family's lives by taking these deals. The more I looked into it, you can't expect all the people to be immune from this influence all at the same time, which is the only way to make change. It wasn't just the influencers or casinos either. Even esports, the most professional, supposedly, side of the game, was flooded with gambling. Almost every professional team had a gambling sponsor. For example, FaZe's Rollbit, the PGL Major was sponsored by 1xBet, G2 was sponsored by CSGO Roll. And this creates the same problem that it created with the influencers. If a sponsor is offering you buckets of money, it becomes really hard not to take, because if you don't take it, your competitor will. In fact, one esports owner argued the entire ecosystem in Counter-Strike, especially in the lower leagues, is basically funded by the gambling industry and gambling addicts. So I called him to understand more of how this works. Can you walk me through how gambling functions in the esports economy?
The issue is that, or the issue, I guess, at hand that you're talking about is that this activity is enabled by more controversial sponsors in gambling and skin rolling sites. If those sponsors weren't permitted, then the tier 2 and beyond scene in CS specifically would likely wither or die, or at the very least constrict to a very large degree. So that's what I meant by my tweet that you should thank your local betting crackhead in Twitch chat. If you're a fan of tier 2 CS and beyond, then the reason you're watching that team play is probably because of that better. To note, this is also true of a lot of orgs' profitability. So the value that traditional sponsors bring in for a tier 2 org can even more, with G2 and Rollbit, for example, the value that a traditional sponsor brings in versus a gambler sponsor is like 15 or 20% of the value. So you don't really turn that down as an org owner unless you've got very specific moral qualms or disagree with gambling on a personal level.
But does this inflate
It's just... And this is why everything needs to be regulated, because this is what happens with capitalism every time. If you're insisting on having capitalism, it has to be unbelievably heavily regulated, because this is what happens every time. Marley Senpai, thank you for the 2 months. Thanks. Regulation is not enough. Punishment is required. Fine just costs a bit. Yeah, I mean, I also think like gambling as it exists now just shouldn't exist.
The economy where if you're not taking a gambling sponsorship, you're almost at a disadvantage because your economics and what you're able to play players and attract talent is much less than somebody who, for example, has a gambling deal and is making way more money than you.
Yeah, to a degree, that's true, I think. Very, very few organizations are able to do it without Gamba. Largely, if you don't have Gamba, you're almost certainly going to be unprofitable.
You heard it there. You almost can't compete at the highest level without a gambling sponsor because they pay so much more than everyone else. And if everyone else is doing it, they will have more money to spend on a team than you and get better players and therefore likely beat you. There's just no more profitable sponsor to turn to.
Ethical consumption in America?
Nom,
nom, nom, nom.
This is it. This is the most ethical stream to consume. Mayor Cat approved, as you can see. Dude, he's so relaxed. He's so relaxed. I'm just like, look at this. He's so eepy. He has a really difficult life, okay? His life is really hard. Sometimes he wants to play and I'm busy or I'm not home.
And so a lot of people actually take the money. So even if that sponsor is a site that allows minors to play with no ID, who cares? Just slap an 18+ sticker in your ad for them and get plausible deniability. That's what G2 did when announcing their CSGO role sponsorship. A depressing fact about this video is the star of it, a guy named Monesi, turned 18 only days before they announced the sponsorship, which means in the video, it was filmed when he was 17. He was underage in their casino, supposedly 18 plus, and no one cared.
Chat, eat him right now. Eat him, Denim. I need to eat him. I need to eat him. So cute. You guys ever like in the middle of trying to like pet your cat, like flex as hard as you can to get all of the energy out? Because they're just so cute. You just want to squeeze. So I'm just like, so cute. Okay. All right. Oh, grip my teeth so hard. Yes. Oh God, yeah. He's just a baby. Oh, my baby, my widow mayor cat. Go back to sleep. Go back to having dreams where you're eating fishies and tubes.
A perfect metaphor for this entire industry. It's all optics. I have to tell you, by the way, the exact day I announced I was investigating Counter-Strike gambling, CSGO Roll did announce for the first time that they were going to be asking all users to prove that they're 18 before playing. Whether or not it's coincidence, they announced it.
It should already be legislation that if you're doing any type of gambling where you're using real money, you need to verify your ID. It doesn't matter if it's in video games. It doesn't matter if it's any type of gambling at all, because it's all the same. It's all on the same like dopamine receptors or whatever. Like the high that you get from gambling. It doesn't matter if it's loot crates or if it's a slot machine.
You had a fun Christmas.
Unless you're gambling like fake game currency and there's no way to buy the currency with real money. Like,
Same day, I don't know, take it for what it is. Maybe it's a token gesture, they'll roll back. Or maybe it's a sudden change of heart for the youth. I don't know. Either way, the point I'm making is that for many people and professional teams, the choice to take a gambling sponsorship is like the choice for PEDs in the Olympics or steroids in the WWE. You can say no, but if everyone else is using them and getting ahead, you choosing not to for ethical reasons will get you left behind, and your peers will become more successful than you. It's a depressing cycle that has me flashing back to the CSGO Wild days several years ago and realizing we're right where we started. CSGO Wild in 2016 was a gambling website secretly owned, slightly disputed, by FaZe Clan. And according to FaZe Banks, his motivation to do that was pretty simple.
My motivation for doing it actually was at the time we weren't making enough money to buy a CSGO team. All in, the venture was going to cost us like $1 million, and we definitely did not have anything close to that. So my brain, like we got to finesse it. We got to figure out how to make
we got to gamble. We got to get people addicted to gambling.
The money to buy this team now, because in the next 6 months, year, this team's gonna be
It's
worth
like, don't you have enough fucking money, dude? Jesus.
like $4 or $5 million, and we're not going to be able to get into this game, which in our heads we need to get in this game.
Yeah, when you hear it, it sounds crazy. It sounds like a cope, but his plan actually worked. FaZe got away with it. FaZe Clan has a Counter-Strike team that won second place in the infamous PGL Major all these years after CSGO Wild. It's alive and well, and still funded, by the way, by gambling, just by a different gambling website. Now it's Rollbit. It's reportedly a multi-million-dollar deal. Now look, I know seeing this is all very depressing, but we've actually learned some really valuable things. Firstly, we can't fix this at the individual level of influencers, esports teams, or even casinos. Doxing people, harassing them doesn't fix it or the underlying problems. It's a deep systemic problem of incentives. Of course, acknowledging that also doesn't absolve individuals. I wouldn't dare say it's okay for Juicy to do what he does, where people have been scammed and he continues to work with the same parent company. That said, if he stopped, it wouldn't change things suddenly. Someone would take his place. So if we're serious about trying to solve this problem, we have to look farther up the food chain than influencers, even than casinos, even than esports leagues. We have to zoom out and see the root cause.
Valve definitely does have an underage gambling problem. They really don't have an incentive to stop it.
Underage, middle age, overage, however you want to slice it.
I think they have all the responsibility. I mean, you could pass me some of that if you want, but ultimately they're the kingpin, reaping in all of the money, or majority of the money. And there's a reason why they haven't killed it yet. They've possessed the power for all these years, but they allow it to go.
I mean, it makes them money.
The bare minimum crackdown.
It makes Valve money. This is the one. This is the one Valve L.
To allow it to keep operating.
The rewards model that we had in place in 2023 allowed the cost of daily freeze to increase beyond a comfortable level due to rising skin prices. This led to user expectations around rewards that were unsustainable. Daily freeze are prone to change at all times. We do not expect So do you guys think this is really his room? I saw another chatter mentioning it. This has to be what is 100% real, right? That's what his room looks like in real life. Glad I'm not the only one who feels like the reading is expected to be done too quickly. Yeah, I don't understand why it was so fast. I was like, I don't care enough, actually. Mars, thank you for the 7 months. Thank you. Thank you. Man, Dude, I almost ate Mayor Cat. He was so rotund. I just wanted to. Inshallah, he will be baked. He's just so cute, and he's just so friend, and he just wants to sleep on lap and get love. That's all he wants, okay? He was so needy this morning. I woke up and he like was fucking harassing me all morning. Gave him his little treat in the morning. He still was fucking on me, dude.